January 29, 2020, and the market is going to be moving today like crazy, guys. Tons of stuff, tons of earnings, FOMC, Federal Reserve rate announcement. Got cool stuff coming up throughout the day, guys. Ton of trading opportunities. We did get a move 7 instead of the move 2. So slight move to the upside, guys. The most important thing you should know about this type of situations is that we're still against the gap. And what I mean by that is we're still fighting the gap. The bulls are fighting the gap on the way higher that was created just a couple of days ago. And that typically is reversed based on the characteristics that we show on the charts. So as pointed out in the video yesterday, the second variation that we could have still gone slightly higher today. That is exactly what's happening, which represents the best opportunity to actually buy puts. The reason being because puts today clearly are less priced. They've decayed since yesterday. So that's why we suggested to steer step into your position, not to go all in yesterday, okay, when the markets were reaching certain levels. So what we got for those for today, guys, is a level of 32.95, 33.01. Now again, these levels, the market is trading pre-market so far at about 32.88. So there is a possibility the market could move slightly higher. But as you are looking at your screen today and thinking, man, everything looks bullish again, I don't know, maybe we're going to retest the highs, the probabilities is that just as you're thinking that the market is going to begin to reverse and start moving lower, because there's plenty of signs to do that. But what you're probably going to be observing is something that every trader is going to be looking at today, and that's looking at how Apple is going to trade. Well, the probabilities for Apple are not looking really good, considering the fact that it had a stellar quarter. Apple stock is very hesitant to move higher, and it's likely to sell off at some point in the day. So as it moves higher towards the 328 level, guys, it's probably one of the easiest trades of the day. If Apple gets to 327, 328, you want to pull the trigger and buy puts right there and then, the 325 strike puts, because that could put Apple substantially low, like 312, 309 area rather quickly over the course of the next 48 hours. We could actually see Apple trading under $300, guys, literally within 72 to 96 hours. So that trade makes a lot of sense. Now, day trade today between the market open and the 2 p.m. Now, make sure you sell the positions before the 2 p.m. At least don't keep all of them because typically between 2 and 2:35, options going to spike, the lower spike higher, and they could lose a lot of value within just that half an hour. So what you want to do, you want to close most of your positions before 2 p.m. because at that point, the options are still going to carry a higher premium. After the Federal Reserve meeting takes place, the market is going to get a little jerky to each direction. There's going to be a lot of movement going on, and we're likely to end up in a move 9. So we want to focus on trading today as a move 9. We don't want to put any huge trades when the market opens. What we do want to do is focus on trading the market after 2:35 p.m. because that's where majority of the action is going to take place. Now, with that said, we definitely want to keep buying puts on BKNG no matter what, on any bounce. So if you use that simple strategy yesterday, BKNG shoots up to like 1937, drops to 1913. It wasn't a huge trade, but it gives you like a very high probability that you're not going to lose money. Those that took that trade yesterday, you didn't make a ton of money. You made some money, depending on the size of your position. But overall, when something is against the gap, like BKNG right now, like overall the S&P futures are right now, it gives you a higher probability that things are going to reverse, and that's exactly the type of the side of the trade that you want to take. So with that said, we're going to glance at the charts of Apple, XLNX, MCD, AMD, LRCX8, ANTM. Some cool stuff that we're noticing that could actually break or make the market today. As soon as the market opens, we're going to be paying very close attention to how Goldman Sachs is going to trade. So we're expecting an initial pop to maybe 247, 248 level. That's where we want to start buying puts in Goldman Sachs all the way down to the 240 level, because during this analyst type of conferences, analyst type meetings, which Goldman Sachs have not done one in a while, okay, we could see some strong reversals. So if it breaks, however, above 248 level, guys, it makes sense to actually start buying like the 250 level puts, because the stock could actually clear over the next few days all-time highs. Now, if Goldman Sachs moves higher, guys, that puts the magnitude of the drop in the market overall, because Goldman Sachs moves higher, it could cause all the financial stocks to move higher. It could pause the actual drop that we have started in these markets on Monday. So it doesn't mean just because Goldman Sachs moves higher over the course of the next few days, if it clears that level of 248.32, it doesn't mean that the market cannot fall if Goldman Sachs and the financials are rallying, but it's certainly going to put a pause and a slowdown in the magnitude of the drop in the markets overall that we just started a couple of days ago. So with that said, focus on trading after 2:35 p.m. with bigger positions, because the market is likely to do this. At 2 p.m. it's likely to start bouncing higher, moving lower, then bouncing high again, ultimately finishing about 32.48. As far as when market opens here in a little while, guys, we're looking at 32.95, 33.01 level. We may or may not get there, so you want to start maybe shorting the market about 32.90, 32.95, add a little bit more, short it all the way to 33.01. So steer step into these positions, an expectation of a reversal lower. Now, yesterday we've talked about this chart of BKNG. Nothing has changed in BKNG, guys. Anytime it pops, you want to short the hell out of this stock. Travel stocks are going lower from here. So the levels from yesterday to today, guys, stair stepping. We're buying some of these at 32.60, 32.69 level, and building some positions. This morning, again, we want to target this level of 29.95 all the way to 3,001. And we're still not discounting the fact that we can easily drop to 31.81, but the next stop is going to be right around here. As you see, we set a target for the reversal for by the end of the day at about 32.48. So even if you were buying these puts yesterday, they will be making money by the time all said and done by the end of the day. Now, as far as the market moves, guys, again, yesterday was a move 7. The VIX dropped, but it held that critical level of 16. We did close at 4 p.m. at 16.22, and more on VIX in just a little bit. So in the historic analog, this is exactly what we're doing. We're kind of like where that black candle is. It looks like things are moving higher today, but overall, after all said and done, we're not going to move higher above the 3,300 level. We can pick just slightly above that, but then the reversal is going to come in. So couple of days basically going sideways, followed by a bigger drop that is developing in the market. And when it's going to come, guys, it's going to come like a hurricane. Trading options, earnings right here, guys. Apple, basically the idea is buying 325 Apple puts when Apple bounces higher. So pre-market's at 323.60. When the market opens, it's like to go to this area 327, 328. As soon as it hits that buy 325 level puts, possible exit points are about 309, right around this level. And possibly the next level is going to be right just above the 300, like 301, 302 area on Apple. XLNX, which is a cloud play, so gives us a story that potentially this earnings season, the cloud stocks are going to look weak again, which puts some extra pressure on top cloud plays such as Amazon, Workday, Now Services, and so on. So focus on this, gaps down, bounces. If it bounces just a little bit more to like 94, so bounce to 94 gets you a good entry actually to the put side on this one. So LRCX AVGO is what we want to do. We want to buy puts in those two names while AMD is selling off. And clearly you can buy AMD. It just we don't prefer to short, cheap stocks like this. But you got a small account, you can certainly put a quick trade on this. But we would rather much focus on shorting LRCX and AVGO. Even though AMD had a great earnings report, they're taking profits in the stock. And these two are at the all-time tops right here, very close to them, so they're likely to begin the sell-off. And we're likely to see the same type of behavior in LRCX and AVGO as an AMD. So what we want to do is buy LRCX 302.5, 300 level puts when LRCX bounces at market open to about 303, 304, 305 level. Yesterday, guys, was January 28th. This actually was a Tuesday. Not sure why it says Monday here, but it was a move 7. This is how move 7 looks on the chart. Basically, the market drops in a reversal formation, bounces. They bind the dip one more time. We do have a bit of a behavior, as you can see here, sharp sell-off, little losing about 12, 13 points within last few minutes of the trading session. So there's a bit of a behavior of a 6 here, but we're not really looking at this as a 6 overall. I mean, this is clearly move 7 where they continue buying the dip throughout the day. 2-day sequence is 3-7, 3-7, gap down, basically shorting the tops, and now they're transitioning temporarily into buying the dips on lower volume. Clearly, if you look at the volume right here, the sell-off was happening much greater volume than the buying side of the equation, which is bearish. 5-day sequence 6-4-2-3-7. Basically, it's what we're noticing, we're getting a mirror formation of this stop, but on a level that coincides against this gap. So we want to stay firm on our position of shorting this bounce in the market. So next market move for today is either going to be 9 or 10, but overall the behavior for the day is going to resemble the behavior of a move 2 or 11. Critical levels for the VIX pre-market, it is temporarily surrendering that 16 levels. You can see we're trading a 15.2, 15.63 area. So we consider this as an undershoot over that red line, which represents that key 16 level. We think VIX is not going to remain here, and it will jump over 16 and bounce its traction towards the yellow line rather rapidly, possibly hitting 18 or maybe even reaching that 19 level by tomorrow sometime. So we think VIX is basically definitely going to hold that level, and it's going to at some point take out that 19 over the course of the next few days. So focus on entries, only intraday bounces, guys. Focus on shorting the intraday bounces. Be ready to trade at 2:35 p.m. when the market gets some momentum going. And again, if we're getting a move 9 today, we're likely to get a 3 or an 11 tomorrow. So position yourself. Definitely keep some positions over that, because bigger drops are still likely to play out after the market close or pre-market. Split your positions evenly to where you have cash available to jump on some crazy trading opportunities tomorrow, guys. With that said, make it an awesome trading day. I'll catch you on the next trade soon.